is just a few hours now before the futures market opens. We can see a pretty expected rundown here, as I really do appreciate the amount of people that have been in here this weekend. Yes, the videos, once they get put out by YouTube, doesn't necessarily get out through the algorithm, but I believe the ones who see this during the live itself and have an active participation, we've been able to pretty much nail this to the wall the way this pattern's been working. We figured that it was going to have this little bit of a bearish downturn. We didn't know if it would come up into the gap areas again, but we felt a bit of a concern yesterday and the day before because Bitcoin had already come up and at that resistance level over the top. So it led us to believe that even if we got a small little run up, the moment we lost that $1.42 and some change, that we were going to immediately run back down sub $1.40. And it played out just like that so far. So now the key that we have to do here together is before the futures market opens, we need to see just how chaotic this can get. So now that we're down below the $1.40 level, we've got about that $1.39.5. And we'll discuss it from there as we go through this early morning and try to see if we would work our way down to that $1.34 on the CME chart. Or because we have an over the top, we closed the futures at $1.43.7. Would we be able to reverse this in some way? Is there some kind of news that's going to be dictated that would allow the charts to speak for it? We know Hamas came out, or the Strait of Hamas. They said that like the USA and anybody they're fighting against can't go into the Strait. But they came out this morning and said that their friends can come through or whatever the hell they want to talk about. So is that dictating some kind of wider anomaly that's going to start happening today? Are we going to be able to hold this $1.39.5 and now all of a sudden shoot back up towards the drop point near $1.43? Or is this just going to be a continuation down? As I really do feel like we're pretty much guaranteed to hit that sub $1 unless something crazy happens and we can break out of this cup and handle with the descending wedge and break above that $1.80 area. It really does feel like we're going to have no choice but to come down sub $1. And I don't want anybody to look at that as a chaotic moment. I want everybody to look at that as the biggest opportunity known to man. When and if, or should I say if and when, we come down in the series of the next couple of months, because it's going to take extreme patience, extreme understanding, and you're going to have a very powerful mindset. And when I say powerful mindset, I mean so that you don't get turned away during these bear markets. A lot, what ends up happening is, yes, we have 95% of retail that ends up losing money. And yes, 86.6%, maybe even a little bit greater, of total XRP tokens in supply right now are underwater. So what that means is 86.6% of tokens that are circulating right now, whoever holds them are in the negative. That in itself will weigh on your mindset. But what I can tell you is if you look past the Shimakos, the Fugazis, you can look towards a very big opportunity. And I really do feel like we're back in the twilight zone here in the matrix of 21 and 23. I feel exactly like I did waiting for these to come down. And in 21, it was prior to when I started on YouTube, but we were building into it in March of 21, March 24th of 2021 to be exact. So 2 days from now will be 5 years from me on YouTube. And I've not missed a single day in this chair. So it's been kind of nice to know for 5 years in a row we've been able to run at this together. And we've been able to look at this in an objective way. But this is reminding me just like those past couple of cycles. So if you missed 21, if you missed 23 and you've been bashing your head through the wall ever since, and 26 is your third chance. And it might be your final opportunity to do it in a setup like this. Not saying that it can never come back down again after it makes that next push up. But you can never go back to the all-time cup and handle. So after we do the intro, we're going to start looking at this in a place of positivity, not negativity. Okay, so what? It broke below $1.40. And yeah, so what? It might be a 90% chance we're coming below $1 before it's all said and done. That doesn't mean you got to be part of the 95% who has no clue what's going on and loses money. Oh, no. That means you can be part of the 5% who pays attention during the bear markets while the rest of retail is taking a break and has lost their wits end and is buying a dip that's not the dip. You can be part of the 5%. Part of the 5% is the key. Do you want to be part of the 95% who loses money in risk assets? Or do you want to be one of the 5 out of 100 who ends up making life-changing money. Because when money changes hands at a 95% loss rate, those 5% are sitting pretty. So I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to do in this market to succeed. Good morning. 11:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, March 22nd, 2026. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So if you're part of the 700 people that'll watch this live after it comes out or during the live itself, down 60% on my viewership from the bull market. We're not quite to the 80% down, so I'm not sure if we're at the heart of the bear market yet. But typically what I've noticed through the algorithm, and it does wear on your brain a little bit, your mindset, your own fundamental understanding, is that when we're in bull markets, we get 5 times the viewership we should. When we're in bear markets, we get about 80% less. So from the 3,000-4,000 views per video and the lives and the 400 to 600 people that would be in here, now we've getting anywhere between 70 and 100 on typically on bad days. Only about 700 views per live video, which means we're getting to that point where retail's starting to hit the wall. And looking at it from a fundamental approach, now would be the time that I have to look at it from 2 standpoints. One, I can get down on myself and say, oh, it's all your fault, you're not getting viewers. Or I can look at it realistically without the emotional tirade in my own head and start to justify the fact we're becoming the beginning of this heart of the bear market. And once we get into the heart of the bear market, it's the hardest part. 1, how do you stay positive? 2, how do you not get down on yourself? And 3, how do you stay in the moment? Well, one way of staying in the moment is to be here every single day. Another way is understanding that this isn't our first cycle together. This isn't our second cycle together. In fact, this is now our 3rd cycle together. And it seems to happen in the exact same fundamental format to where most people disappear, but the ones who stick around are going to unbelievably change their own wealth. It's happened twice, and this is going to be the 3rd and final straw, because in this occasion, and we're going to start from the farthest out, but first I have to thank, I believe, Silver Days for sending a super chat before we even started. Silver Days, thanks for the $2 super chat. Says, thank you, Tom, for being here every day. Yes, it can be tedious sometimes, especially in the bear market, but I guarantee you this will all pay off in the bull market. Heck, we've went over 50,300 subscribers, so that in itself is telling me people are subscribing. They're just not willing to watch as many right now. You wouldn't believe how many times people tell me, I'm subscribing to you, Tom, but I can't watch right now. I'll be back in the bull market, which isn't a badge of honor that you would subscribe to my channel so that when things are going good, but I encourage you to stay here when things are not going so good. Nobody ever became rich in a bull market. We become rich in bear markets. And you know why? Mental fortitude. We gain the mental toughness, but we also see the exact line of defense that needs to be put in the sand, and we know the best buying opportunity. So if you're going to watch today, I'm going to show you the best buying opportunity known to man when it comes to XRP, and it's going to be our first opportunity since 2023 to get it right. Now, if you were part of the game in 21 where we bought the bear market and sold the bull market, awesome. If you waited for me until 23 and we bought back into the bear market lows and then sold in the 25 market top, awesome. That is irrelevant. Yes, it builds some credibility and some positivity, but now we have to do it again. And I'm here to tell you, we can do this again. We can do this again. And never in 21 or 23 did we ever have this opportunity. This opportunity is different than prior opportunities. And it's funny because the opportunity in front of us is the biggest we were going to ever see out of XRP, at least at this point. We have an all-time cup and handle, which leads us to $6.41. Well, Tom, that's fucking crazy. We're only at $1.40, $1.39. How do we get there? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked how we get there. How we get there is very simple. We fill out this descending wedge one of 2 ways, preferably to the downside, because that's targeting where we're at. We have a bearish crossing the 20 and the weekly time frame, and now that 20-day moving average is crossed to 50 and the 100-day moving average. The only thing left is crossing that 200-day moving average for the death cross. So, how do we get there? It's funny that it's March 22nd, 2026 would be the sign of the angels are watching over us, 222. So they're definitely guiding us in this live. So the interesting part is, how do we get there? Why do we get there? Why would anybody be watching? Why would anybody even care to watch XRP at this point? I'll tell you why, because if you want to change your exponential or your, not just your understanding of what's happening, but your possibility of surviving during this high times of inflation. Because if you think 25 and 24 and 23 were bad, wait till you see what's coming in 27 and 28. You're being gaslit up the yin yang right now. We're going to have to keep up with about a 25% increase in inflation over the next 2.5 years. You've heard that right. We're going to have to exponentially increase our wealth by 25% over the top of what we can create by our daily hourly pay. So how do we do that? I'll show you how we do that. We become patient. We become very focused, and we look at these all-time setups. Does it matter what the rest of the charts are doing? It depends what you're looking at. But for the here and now, we're looking at XRP. We're looking at XRP. And in the all-time cup and handle, at no other point with me doing this for 5 straight years have we ever had this setup. Until now. In 21, when we started, we were doing the rounding of the bottom, and we waited for this big hump in the middle. That was our middle of the big W reversal, or often the pullback within a cup. Then we created the second rounding of the bottom in 24, and ultimately broke out and hit a bull market top in 25. Now what we're doing is we're literally at that point of no contention. What I mean by that is most people are going to leave during this time. This is the single most important time of crypto ever. For XRP, this is the single most important and most influential moment that XRP will face, and most people are going to run away. I promise you, most people are going to run away from this opportunity. And you're seeing it with the viewership overall with the people who are interested in crypto. I've never seen in my 5 years so many people down. And I'm not just talking about mentally. I'm talking about down in their portfolios, because there's never been an opportunity where you could have had it from $3.70 all the way back down. Even in yesteryear, it only came up to the 350 zone. Now you've got all those people from 8 years ago all the way up until today that have been buying at the wrong spots, not selling out in the bull market top. See, when you're in a risk asset, the number one lesson I can teach you is you buy bear markets and you sell bull markets, and then you rinse and repeat. Now, there could come an opportunity where you might not be able to do it like that. We're just not there yet. Never do you want to hold from 370 all the way back down sub $1 when you can take that gain, expand it into different assets if you want on the bottom, or just simply buy more XRP. I'm telling you, this time in this descending formation, this time of this huge cup and handle, you will never be able to do what you do here again. Period. This is going to be the time of all times, and we're going to keep talking about this opportunity. We're going to keep talking about the potential here, because to miss out on this would be to miss out on the gift of all gifts. I'm being as honest as I can be. This is literally what I've been waiting for since I started on YouTube for 5 years. Yes, we've had great opportunities, but you've had to be very in the moment to get out when we were at the bull market top. You had approximately, 17 days here to get out of it here. You had about 5 months here, because you had January until July to get out here. 4 to 5 months. But we had to be on point to understand what we were building here. And that just built the descending wedge. I also heard a news says everything is down. I know people who own homes and can't sell on paper. They're so real market valued. Absolutely. And the pain in the butt about that is with a home is they're overvalued so that we have to pay more in property taxes. I know I'm a victim of it myself with my house. They have it listed almost at $300,000 for my house. It's up near $280 where the actual pricing is. My house ain't worth $175 on a good day. Okay? I got a steal, it ended up being a steal and not a steal at the same time because of the roof and stuff. But I got a good bargain on my house, and obviously some work needed to be put into it. But in no way and shape is it worth almost $300,000. But yet I have to pay the property taxes. They're killing me. You're talking about my property taxes are over $5,000 a year. With a fully paid off house, well, now I have to do renovations of the roof. And I've had to do renovations inside that has cost me about 100 grand over the years. But the property tax is never ending. So that comes out to what, $700 a month? No, not that much. It's about $500 a month. Yeah, $400 to $500 a month religiously that you'd have to pay if you put it to the side. But anyhow, that's why we need to stay ahead. That's also why when you're looking at these in bear markets, this is why we need to pay attention, folks. You're never going to come in here and see a more positive Tom than you're going to see over the next 4 months. Because I know the opportunity. It reminds me of 21. It reminds me of 23. And in 2023, we had the same kind of understanding, but in a different way. In 2023, our guide stone that we used, let me go to the right chart. We used this. We used this for almost 3 years after we got this bear market top. We used this for our buying. We had resistance, resistance 2. We had support coming from here. Then we created the uptrend. And once we created this resistance in 2021, we waited for the support tap. And it absolutely unequivocally validated it. And no doubt about it. So we bought initially, sold it again up here. Then we rebought after quantitative easing. Or tightening was switched to easing. And they went from rate hikes to rate cuts. It's the honest to God truth. We didn't have to do anything else. It told us exactly what was going to happen to the point of the breakout in 24 perfectly. And the apex was between November and December of 24, and it broke out right at the apex. Like, you can't make that up. So now, once again, understanding the setups and the way that patterns work, now we take it out into this chart to the all-time cup and handle, and we're doing it again. It's the patience game. It is the patience game. This is so unbelievably, in my opinion, just incredible to be so far out ahead of the setups to where we can literally sit on this and wait and be patient, but try to push it in a motivating fashion. Like, why would you be so afraid when it's giving us months? So far, it's given us July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. 9 months right now to build capital. 9 months to build capital. And some will say, well, Tom, you're swing trading on some of these. Building capital. And yesterday I said, don't buy where it was at. Because it was in no man's land. We said it the day before too. Unless you were trying to set up a short even, it was still in no man's land because you could have had the tap up, which it gave a small tap. But now today it went to $1.39, $1.40. You're still in no man's land, but you have the support structure. So look at this. A point of contention here is the fact that being able to build capital for over 9 months and the market's dropped 62.5% the entire time. The entire time I've been saying the same thing. Don't buy a dip that's not the dip. I should make a shirt that says, don't buy a dip that's not the dip. I really should. But that's the big message. You can't buy a dip that's not the dip. Otherwise, you end up being down 62.5% or somewhere in the middle. So what we're trying to do is if we're swing trading, and that doesn't mean leverage always, but if you're swing trading, we're trying to build capital, protect our investing portfolio, which is tricky because that means you have to be on the ball. So understanding what we understand about this descending wedge, that is super bullish, everybody. I want you to be positive about this. Don't just come in here and be like, oh, it's over. We're going under $1. We have no chance. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You have a very big opportunity here. We all do. But the problem is, can we stay mentally strong? I can also show you things with BlackRock, how Ripple is unequivocally involved with BlackRock. And I have the smoking gun. I know exactly what it is. Hell, I've even tried to share it on Facebook and speak of it in here. We have the smoking gun. The game is rigged in our favor. But we have to pay attention to it. We can't just say, oh, the price. Oh, this pile of shit XRP, the price is down. It's more than that. It is so much more than that. Joseph Euler, thank you so much for the gifted sub this morning. Beast Mode General gets the gifted sub. And congratulations on being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. Might be weighing the badge down because it was such a chunky face back then. But hey, I digress. Thank you so much, Mr. Euler. So, if you want to talk about the smoking gun that I've tried to share 10 times without 100, but nobody ever wants to listen to it, it's the connection with the BUIDL. That's the connection. So BlackRock plus Ripple, the game is rigged in our favor because we're part of the Ripple ecosystem with XRP. We understand what's about to happen in the next 6 months. Oh, I know it's a pain in the ass. Trust me, I do. The BlackRock and Ripple, the game is rigged in our favor. The build, BUIDL connection is the smoking gun that most people are completely missing. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, is already reportedly utilizing Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin as a key mechanism for his tokenized treasury fund, BUIDL. This isn't just another partnership, it's a total validation of Ripple's infrastructure. So here's why the smart money is moving. So institutional trust. BlackRock doesn't gamble on unproven tech. By integrating with Ripple via securities, they've confirmed that Ripple infrastructure is ready for the $1 trillion TradeFi migration. 24/7 liquidity. The integration allows BUIDL holders to swap fund shares for RLUSD instantly. No more waiting for bank hours, global fund. And this is a big step in the plumbing. So I won't keep talking about this, but this is something everybody needs to pay attention to. So if you don't think it's rigged in Ripple's favor and they're part of the elite, you haven't been paying attention. I've been paying full attention. Most of this community is paying full attention. So why would you bet against? What's the one thing I say? Never bet against who? First, the central banks who control who in the hierarchy, the institutional investors who control who, the market makers who control who, ultimately retail. So don't bet against the setup. But also don't buy into the wrong times. I've said this until I'm blue in the face. You cannot buy into a market that is not at the bottom unless you want to swing it. You cannot buy a dip if it's not a dip, if it's just a correction. The biggest mistake we make as retail is we buy into the dip thinking it's a dip after a parabolic 10x move. I hate to break it to everybody, but until it reshuffles through that all-time cup and handle and the descending wedge, you can't make a move, an all-time move. If you want to make all-time wealth, you can't make an all-time dumb decision. And I see 7% left when I talked about BlackRock. Well, that's okay. That's an all-time dumb move. You're leaving when the education's right there in front of you, and you don't have to pay a red cent. Sometimes you got to be critical when you're talking to your audience and tell them not to be dumbasses. Just like I have to tell myself, don't be an idiot. Because I look at some opportunities and say, Tom, you're being an idiot. Don't be an idiot. Pay attention to what's in front of you. So I'm going to tell my audience, don't be dumb. Pay attention to the setup that's in front of us. Pay attention to the things we talk about every single day so you are not caught up in the 95%. We want to be positive. We don't want to be the guy who's getting beaten over the head by a belt. We want to do the ass whooping around here. Do you want to get your ass whooped, or do you want to be the one beaten, for the lack of a better word, beating ass? You know, I mean, we got a choice. And the beauty of it is we're so far out ahead of the charts, and I'm not afraid. We're so far out ahead of the news because of the charts. I'm not afraid. Who's afraid? Who's afraid of this market, and who's ready to take it by the balls? I want to know. Are you ready to take this market by the balls, or are you ready to get yours cut out? That's what I want to know. Are you going to leave your balls on the table, or are you going to just let them drop? That's what I want to know. Do you have the mental toughness to be here in the right time? I dare say that 83 of you have the mental toughness. You're here right now, despite this bear market. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Nobody ever gets rich in a bull market. They get rich in the bear market. And we're all for it. Diamond balls. I love it. Do you have the diamond balls or diamond hands? I love that. Thou shalt not fear. Absolutely. Me too, Bearded Viking. I'm ready to take on the bear. We're taking on the bear, baby. We are taking on the bear. Wife says she is going to use mine. I hope she knows what she's... Well, if you do it wrong, she's going to cut them out, and your balls are, in fact, going to be on the table. But it's not going to be on the table for diamond balls. She's going to crush them into oblivion, as she should. No, I'm just joking. But we got to do this in a sense of humility. We have to have humility but also have a sense of laughter here. Do you know how many people are ripping their hair out? And they're ripping their brains out, so to say, because they're overlooking the beauty in front. Do you know how beautiful this is? Can we just all sit here for a second and study this? Do you know how beautiful that is? No, not because it's the Hank Hill ass syndrome. Because it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. This is beautiful. That setup is something I've waited for 5 years. It's the reason why I've been coming back every single day unabated, no matter good, bad, indifferent. This is beautiful. I'm so sick of looking at it and then, oh, we're going sub $1. And we have the understanding and the ability to go sub $1. We have the ability to buy it in the bear market. We have the ability and understanding to do this right. Do you know 95% of people out there wishes they understood this the way we do? Some will give me credit. I don't want the credit. Give yourself the credit. You're here every single day. And you've helped me evolve my understanding of what's going on. You've all helped me look at this a completely different way from a human psychology standpoint. It's like we're having the world's biggest case study here. And we're able to look at this in a transcending way. Don't look at it in the 2 minutes. What are you going to do when it ends up doing something like this off of the bottom? And now all of a sudden, whether it's between 86 cents or it's all the way down to 58 cents, what are you going to do when it does this the next time? And we've already went through a 10x together where we turned 3,500 into 35,000 together. That was my guarantee to the community. Designate $3,500 at 34 cents to get 10,000 tokens. And I guarantee you're going to turn it into 35,000. You just have to know when to sell. Said that from the beginning and we did it. This time around is different. Now if you put that same 10,000 token value, and you don't need to put 35,000 in. Even today you could take that 35,000 you sold, and what do you have to spend right now? Less than 14,000. So that means you have 21,000 in profit right now. And you can buy your same tokens back. But that's not the time. I'm not ready to buy it back yet until it gives me some confirmation one way or the other. I still think we go sub $1. But what that means is with your extra funds, now all of a sudden you can buy XRP. You may be able to buy XDC. You might be able to buy XLM. You may be able to buy Algo and HBAR and VChain or anything else that floats your boat on top of your XRP. That's the goal. That is the overwhelming objective here. We don't want to have to give it all back to the house. I am a hodler. Come see my collection of XRP tokens that are down 75%. No, thank you. How about you come look at my collection that's up 1,000%? You can have that mindset. Do you want to be the hodler like the other 95% and hold on for dear fucking life? Or do you want to be somebody who's the 5% that is up 1,000%, that paid a shitload in taxes but made a crap load, and now you're sitting here waiting while everybody's stressed out? I've never been so... The stress is so little when it comes to crypto right now, I can't even describe it. You'd think I'd be stressed the shit out, or stressed the hell out over crypto. It's quite the opposite. YouTube stresses me out because every time I try to load a live, it makes me do it 700 times. But you know, that's part of the game. They don't want somebody telling you how to make money. Then you can buy a $5 of lettuce. See that? That's why you need to buy XRP at the right spot, so that you can afford that $5 level. Yes, confidence. You want confidence in these markets. You want to be part of the schlubs with me who are here every single day, even though everybody thinks we're jokes. You want to be a part of this because then you can see the topping reversal that happens in real time. You want to be part of the ones that they say, well, you're not part of the team. You're not holding on forever. You're right. I'm not willing to fund this. But what I'm willing to do is make exponential gains this next time around. Imagine you have from 3,500 to 35,000. You sell, you put it in your pocket, and then you still buy 10,000 tokens back at minimum like you had before. And let's say it costs 8,500. This time around, again, you're using the same money as we've done before, except you've been able to evolve into other things when it's at the bottom. Now this time around, it'll be worth over 60,000. What would you say to yourself then? Wouldn't you shake your yesteryear's hand and say, why, thank you for not being part of the 95% who couldn't get rid of it? Oh, thank you, Lord, for letting me be in a community that really understands and wants us to succeed. Or do you want to be part of it where they just say, hold on, and we hope and pray? I'm not part of the hope and pray club. I make my own destiny. I don't let destiny make me. If you're waiting for destiny, here, I got a better idea for you. If you want to keep buying no matter what and think the charts aren't any good, you might as well take your money or your currency. You might as well just light it on fire. Better yet, donate it to me. I'll give it to my son. I mean, that seems fair to me. If you want to just give your money away, you might as well give it to a good cause. But you don't need to do that. Everybody who said the bottom's in and has unequivocally switched their tune, stop watching them. You know how many people that have come in here and said, hey, this person and that person said we're at a bottom. And then they say, oh, we're at a top. But they're doing it at the wrong times. Now, how could you come off a bottom right now without actually breaking out of the descending wedge and say that the bottom's in? You can't. It's impossible. Those people just want to get views. They're the shit stains in the crypto market. I don't want to watch the stains. I don't want to watch it. I'd rather know what's going on without being lied to, yes. But I don't need that distraction. So right now we have a bearish cross, a death cross, in fact, where the 20s come back through the 200, 50s come back through the 200. Couldn't even have the proper breakthrough with the 100. This could get very ugly very quickly as we have a topping reversal. Even through this area, I'm going to delete this because people are going to be, what is that out there for? Well, I was trying to find you a short positioning, which honestly, it didn't do too bad. We just had an extended wick, which gave you an even deeper opportunity. But we want to make sure that we're doing this at the right time. So we're going to make sure we're doing it at the right time. Stop it. You're turning me on talking about the gains I'm going. Well, we have to have the foresight into what's going on. And let me show you. Because a lot of people are like, Tom, you always talk about how the descending triangle is the most bullish on a cup and handle. Let's ask this. A descending triangle forming as the handle of an all-time cup and handle pattern is considered one of the most powerful bullish continuation signals in technical analysis. Not a bearish breakdown. Let's repeat that. A descending triangle forming as the handle of an all-time cup and handle pattern is considered one of the most powerful bullish continuation signals in technical analysis. Not a bearish breakdown. It represents a final constructive shakeout of weak hands, retail, 95% of traders in retail, compressing volatility before an explosive breakout upward, often fueled by the failure of the anticipated descending triangle breakdown. Why this combo is highly bullish. The context, the cup and handle is a long-term U-shaped cup, indicates sustained buying interest and a return to all-time highs signaling massive demand. The handle descending triangle, which it is not a descending triangle, it's a descending wedge. Why does it say descending triangle? No, not a descending triangle. Descending wedge. Because I could argue a descending triangle on the cup and handle could turn it upside down. A descending wedge or a falling wedge acting as a handle on a large all-time cup and handle pattern is widely considered one of the most bullish, high probability consolidation patterns in technical analysis. I knew it didn't sound right. Switching it to a descending triangle on us. It signals that sellers are losing conviction, lower highs and higher lows at a slower pace, while buyers are accumulating at discounted prices, creating a high energy, coiled spring effect before the breakout. The handle as the shakeout, the falling wedge handle acts as a final lower volume shakeout of weak hands before a continuation of the primary trend. The declining volume as the wedge forms, volume typically decreases, indicating weak selling interest. A sudden spike in volume on the breakout confirms institutional accumulation. The high probability of success. Falling wedges have approximately 68% success rate in predicting bullish reversals or continuations. However, to me, with the cup preceding the descending wedge handle, I think it ups it to over 80% probability that this will break out. But I still think we have to tap one more time and make one more lower low. Call me crazy, but that's what I think needs to happen. The wedge provides a distinct tightening price structure, allowing for a defined low-risk stop-loss level before the wedge is low. The key characteristics of the setup, and everybody should know this, even though most people are leaving now because I'm teaching you information. Sure as shit, the more I teach you, the more you leave. That's okay. The wedge handle, the handle must be smaller than the cup, typically forming in the upper half of the cup and not dropping below the 50% retracement level. The breakout, the pattern is confirmed when the price breaks above the upper sloping line of the wedge with high volume. So that is what we're looking at right now. It's exactly what we're looking at. But hey, for anybody who stays, you're going to get unequivocally more wealthy. For everybody who doesn't want to be here and wants to leave, you're going to miss out and you're going to come back later. I say it all the time. They're just going to come back later when it's too late and say, well, Tom, I wish I didn't lose. I wish I would have been here when the proper information. I wish I would have been here in the bear. You could have been here. And once it's too late, I can't do nothing for you. It's going to take you multiple years to make up for your mistake of leaving. It's that simple. So you have a choice to make. You can either listen to the truth and listen to the information and set yourself up for the future, or you can walk out the door. I can't leave the door open for you, but I can keep it from closing on you. You ever hear the saying, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out? Well, I mean, you might be left with your fucking jockstrap only if you walk out right now. That's a clear topping area. 1, 2, we're topping. Unless this breaks, we're topping over here. Don't let a tough stretch or somebody telling you something you don't want to hear but you need to hear force you out to go to somebody you don't need to hear but want to hear. It's the biggest mistake you can make as an investor. You want to hear what's uncomfortable and truthworthy. You want to hear what you don't want to hear but need to hear. You don't want to hear what you don't need to hear but want to hear. When you get into that environment, you're losing as an investor. Am I hard on everybody sometimes? You're damn right I am. You know why? Because I respect you enough to lead you not into slaughter, but to lead you into the promised land. It's very, very lonely on the top of a mountain when everybody else falls off the cliff on the way up because they don't have the proper footing. It's a much more fun and a more just, I don't even know the right, spiritual, the awakening, when you've got all your fellow friends, even your foes that believed along the way, and they're up at the top of the mountaintop at the end. It's a much more, just an unbelievable feeling. And we've got small feelings of that in 21 and 23. 26 is going to be so much different. I can't even explain it. The game is rigged in our favor. It's been since the beginning, and they leave us the breadcrumbs, and we're in the right asset class with XRP, XLM, XDC, and some of these IH bar and algo, and some of the, we're in the right asset classes. Oh, I'm not alone. I know that, Poppy Lou, and thanks for being in town under 6+ months. We are the mountaintop builders right now. Some of us may have bought the wrong equipment, but because we've got so many people holding us up, and we were smart enough to bring a parachute on the way down, or maybe a hang glider, we're able to glide our way back up. You know, we're not coming to the fight with no info. I really want to be more precise in the fact that I'm telling you, I 100% believe, 99.997% believe that this cup and handle is going to play out to $6.50 plus, roughly, in the end of it. That's going to be one hell of a journey when we get there, but we're making our way in our case right now. Now we just need to see if there's a way in the short term we're going to come back up to that CME, or if that's another breakaway at the close. If we don't come back up to $1.43 on the open and we just continue to push down, that's going to be another level that we need to find for another confirmation, we start pushing back up. We've already got one level between $1.70 and $1.80. And this could be another breakaway gap at $1.43, confirming another bearish structure. We're significantly oversold in the 4-hourly right now. So whether or not this leads to the fact that maybe we'll come back up on the open, it's to be determined. But I can tell you this is going exactly like this has been the easiest. The easiest. And let me explain this again. The easiest setup that we've ever watched. Because it's been going for 8 years now. Even when we watched it from 21 to 25, even though we had the proper setup when we hit that 21 top, it wasn't as easy. We didn't know where the support structure. We don't have to worry about any of this. This is the single easiest setup because the trading algorithms are performing as they should. Let me say that again. This is the easiest setup I've ever watched in my life when it comes to XRP because it's all set up. It is all set up. I can't be any more clear than that. If you stick this out, you're going to turn XRP's 10,000 tokens when it's proper time to buy back. We did it last time, 3,500 to 35,000. This time when you rebuy it back for anywhere between 5,600 and 8,600, it's going to turn into 60-something thousand. I guarantee it at a 97% clip that that's going to happen. But it doesn't mean you can buy it at $1.70 or $2.50 or $3.50 to make it happen. It's not what it means. So, when everybody's asking for the Sunday prayer, I got a perfect Sunday prayer. It's a prayer of perseverance when you want to give up. Lord Jesus, you see the trials before me and the weight I struggle to carry. Give me the strength to endure what I cannot avoid, the courage to remain faithful when it is hard, and the trust to know you are working even in the testing. When I am weak, be my strength. When I am discouraged, be my hope. Lord, help me not to lose heart today. I know you have a plan and a purpose for me. When my heart hurts and I feel like giving up, give me the strength to keep going. I lay all my frustration and exhaustion at your feet. Help me to take one more step and believe for the next day. I will not give up. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. I think that's a perfect prayer for today. In the time of the misunderstanding, in the time when most want to give up, the ones who show the utmost perseverance are going to make it over to the next land and the next time. It's the truth. That's the truth. It's a perfect prayer. I had it on my phone. I just didn't share it yet. We often do the Sunday prayer, so I'm not oblivious to it, but I wanted to do it at the right moment. As we can see right now, even in these gap liquidity boxes, whatever you want to call them, we weren't able to hold it, and the technical drop down off the past bear flag is down to that $1.34 level. And you might say, Tom, what's that $1.34 level? Well, when the futures market opens, as of right now, we're going to be underneath this support, and we're going to be somewhere towards here. The next support structure is around that $1.34. So that's where we're going to be looking in the futures market. That's a symmetrical triangle. If that breaks down, we're going to start to push more towards the promised land. Elmer, I love it. Amen. Stop trusting man and have faith in God. Most don't think about it. No, they don't. In fact, the spiritual side of people is leaving us. Most people are heading towards the satanic side because you get things a little bit easier. See, when you believe in Satan instead of our Lord and Savior, things might come easier to you because you take advantage of others who are not understanding. Sound like any influencers you watch? Tell a lie and they'll come coming back. Tell the truth and they run away. That's what I experience every single day. I could tell you every single day, hey, buy today, it's going to $7 and everybody's going to be here every single day, hundreds and thousands of people. But because I say have patience, have perseverance, and don't be the exit liquidity. Oh, you son of a bitch! XRP is the God, it's the chosen one. What do you mean we're going to be the exit liquidity? It's exactly what I mean. You're the exit liquidity. That's why you're 95%. Don't be the 95%. Be the 5%. If you're part of the 95%, you have no choice but to be the hodler. I'm the hodler. Look, everybody, I hodl. No matter what. I never sell. I've been holding since 2017. I've never secured any profit. Well, as Beavis used to say, or Butthead always says to Beavis, you dumbass. Don't be that guy. Dana said, Dana says, Dear Lord, please tell Tom to stop beating me up because I bought at the wrong time and did not have the knowledge or confidence to sell when I was supposed to. I'm still in. But Dana, the point is you're still here listening. That's a learning experience. Don't you think I used to be that dumbass? Butthead used to be telling me it all the time. Because I would do the same thing I'm preaching to not do. That's how I know. That's how I know. You know, that's what gave me the better understanding. It took me I had to look in deep soul searching to understand I was being dumb. This didn't just happen overnight, but I'm trying to teach everybody in a way, like I really am. But sometimes you got to hear what you don't want to hear so that you understand what you don't want to hear. And when you learn what you don't know, so you know what you don't learn. Sounds crazy. Sometimes you need to learn so you know what you didn't know. And so you know what you learned. A lot of people learn, but they don't know what they're learning, so they never learn anything because they don't know, because they know everything and they don't know anything. I don't know anything, so it allows me to know everything. I didn't say I know everything, it just gives me the ability to know everything because I don't know anything. Elmer J. Fudd, thank you so much for the $20 super chat this morning. Said 4 heads of lettuce for you, Tom. Thanks, man. You're welcome. Maybe next year it'll only be 2 heads of lettuce at $20. But yeah, no, we're doing something here. I'm telling you. That's for XRP. It's for XRP. We're doing what we need to do. We are not the victim. We're even below this uptrend. We're not the victim. We're the winners. There's only a small percentage that can be winners in crypto. We're the winners. If you're in this community and you're sticking around, you're a winner. And you're going to know every single thing I know, and you're going to know how to approach this market in the proper way. You're a winner. There's a lot of people that come and go. They're not the winners. They might be later, but it just wasn't their time. They know not what they don't know, only what they've been told. And unless you find the right person to tell you what you need to know, you're probably on the outside looking in. Unfortunately, if you're watching somebody who has not your best interests at heart, but wants to make blood money from the satanic side, because that's what all these influencers are. They believe in Satan. And they don't have to say they believe in it. They don't even have to believe it themselves. But it's the way that they're treating people that are the unknowing. See, when you take advantage of the ones that don't know, you're not supposed to. That's a sin in the Bible. According to our Lord. You're not supposed to take advantage of the unwise. In fact, you're supposed to lead them into the proper positioning. You're not supposed to take advantage of them. You're not supposed to take from the sick. You're not supposed to steal from the poor. And you know what the easiest way to steal from are the poor people. You know why? Because we're desperate. When you're poor, you're desperate. So you're willing to believe anything to try to get ahead. That's where the paid influencing shills come in. That's why 95% are down. It's not only because you're not smart enough. I don't think it's that at all. I think everybody's got the ability. You just need to be touched by the right person and not in that way. This isn't OnlyFans. But if the XRP keeps going down far enough, I may have to be in that way. The only way might be OnlyFans. You're going to see sunny days in a whole new way. The sun's no longer going to be the sun. It's not going to be the Hank Hill ass syndrome. It's going to be Tom's ass crack and OnlyFans. You know, I mean, that might be the way it has to go. Nobody wants to see that. The dick and balls pattern is going to have a whole new meaning. But, you know, we have to do this in a place of comedy instead of being so irritated with ourselves. That's the futures. Futures don't look good. Futures looks bad. Could it have been an inverse pattern? It could have, but it's not. More than likely. Although, we've still got until tonight because it doesn't affect it in the trading. You know, so you can look at this one of two ways. We're screwed. Or we have the biggest opportunity heading our way. No, you don't have to. I want you to make those however you want. Julie's making our Sunday bagels, and I ordered some bacon. And we're going to have bacon. Oh, I forgot to do lettuce. Damn it.
Didn't somebody give
Oh yeah, somebody gave me money for lettuce. Elmer did. He said, by God, you're gonna be able to afford these head lettuces. Um, I'm trying to bring you a different standpoint of myself even. In these times, I'm not being negative ever again. We're gonna be positive, like I said the last 3 days. And positivity is invigorating. It'll help people be attracted to us, not detracted. So what are we looking at today? Well, because we're so oversold in the 4 hourly, there is a chance we come back up here and back test the drop. However, this technical drop point from this drop here, which we went into this bear flag, which ended up playing out like a descending, actually no, a symmetrical triangle, a bearish continuation. The target's going to be somewhere around that $1.34.9. Conveniently, it's going to be the future support. So it might line up perfectly in the next couple of days to come down to tap this support and another symmetrical triangle, I believe, or believe it or not. So, does everybody understand what we're saying this morning? Adam Baum, thanks for the $5 super chat. Says, Tom, I will personally give you $1,000 if XRP goes sub $1. I don't see it happening, but you seem 100% confident it is. You know how many times I've been told that? That if it goes to X, Y, and Z, I'll give you all this. And then it goes to X, Y, and Z, and people just leave the community. I believe in you, Adam. You don't need to give me $1,000. I mean, I wouldn't turn it away. But I feel confident because we're in an all-time cup and handle. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's one opportunity for it not to happen. But it has to prove it to us. And right now, we haven't been able to break, one, the descending triangle. And the only other way to avoid sub $1 would be to break out to the top side and get above this pattern formation in the descending wedge, which I'm not seeing it right now. So we'll see. We will certainly see, my friend. And Adam, I'll see you on the other side, my brother. I just appreciate the fact you threw it out there. You know, we'll see what happens, but I am confident we're going down there in the next few months. Unless it surprises us, which is fine. If it surprises us, then we're going to have to turn 17,000 into 60,000 or 65,000. I'm okay with that too. I'd much rather have it cut down instead of break out. But unless it happens, I'm 100% confident what's going to happen. Same way I was in 23. Didn't always look good. Didn't always look like we were right. But we knew the setup. Right now, we know the setup again. So I've been talking about this exact drop down sub $1 since, what was it, 350? I don't look as stupid now, do I? Back in January of 25, I look like an asshole, and that's why everybody left. Well, not everybody. There's still 87 of you here right now, which is a miracle. But that's why a bunch of people leave. They look at somebody and go, wait a minute. This guy tell us to trust him and buy it for 3,500, buy 10,000 tokens. And now we're up to 35 grand. He's telling us to sell it. Is this guy off his rocker? Everybody's telling me it's going to 4 digits. Well, I haven't told you that. I'm just being realistic. So now again, we got this same opportunity setting up. We got to look at it in the right way. Got to look at it the right way. Adam Baum, I have 145,000 XOP. I'm a man of my word. Holy schmagolies. Thank you so much for another $2 super chat. I really appreciate your, not only your pay it forward mindset that you're using right now, but also your future projectile, for future projecting, saying that if in fact I am right about this, which I may not be right about this, it's about an 80% chance at this point, good odds to me, that you would be willing to break the bank for Tom. Well, maybe not your bank, but that would be kind of cool, actually. That'd be kind of cool to see that. We'll see how this plays out. What is this? Holy smokes. 1970 legend, our fellow Buckeye, and I was saddened to see Ohio State lose. I really wanted to see them beat those cocksuckers. Oh, sorry. I wanted to see them win that game against TCU. But anyhow, our fellow Buckeye, who says a Wolverine and a Buckeye can't be friends, says, gotta run, take your wife out to dinner on me, have a good week. Oh, thank you so much, 1970 legend. Tom's Army for over 1 year and a $99.99 super chat. I don't know what I did this morning to get all these super chats, but I'm glad I did it. I'm telling you, I'm going to be using these funds to get my CFA. I have a call this week because I'm going to a certification. It should be starting soon, depending on how much it is. But I want to become a certified financial advisor, not a CFP, not a financial planner, No, not an asset manager, but a financial advisor. And I'm going to go for my certification. If we get rich, Tom, I will buy the furniture for the lake house. Oh, I can't wait for that to play out. I know one day it will. I will sing the song right now. I will sing the song right now. And there's 96 people. And if you've not seen this before, you may run away. I've been doing this since there was only 500 subscribers, less than 500 subscribers to my channel. And now we're over 50,300 today, assuming everybody stays. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the FUD. Oh, we're gonna crash and we did and we will and we won't and it can't and we will and we won't, but we can never fall below $1 again, but we can and we won't and we will, but we can't and we will and we won't, but he's wrong and he's right and he's wrong, but I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. Oh yeah. Stay true. Stay blessed. Bitcoin's the biggest Ponzi of them all. Don't get trapped in that. But I mean, there still could be another run up in Bitcoin, obviously. But I've been doing this song for a very long time. And the number one thing people always used to tell me when I see 16 people left, that's okay. I don't expect you to stay through the good. You got to sit through the bad to get to the good. I never said I was a good singer, but what I do is try to bring everybody together. That's all. Sometimes you got to do humiliation kind of things to get people together. Speaking of humiliation, OnlyFans is only a few days away if this continues. We're going to call them the Only Charts. The Only Charts with Mr. Dong. Mr. T and Mr. Dong. T-Dong. There we go. If we have to do OnlyFans, it's going to be the T-Dong story. XRP right now, if we look at it in this regression, this is the normal chart, not the futures. But this one, I think, gives us a lot of objective understanding here. We're significantly oversold in the 4-hourly. We're significantly, are we in need for a retracement to test back upward this bearish cross area? Could you say we've created a little bit of a liquidity box? Maybe. I mean, maybe we could come back up into this little zone. It's not an overtly big zone by any means. But one could argue that we could come back up into this region and try to tap that as a bearish overtone. I'm just saying that could be objectively where we look at. So, there's one thing you got out of this live this morning. I'm not ready to go yet. I know everybody's going to be leaving because Sunny Days is on. I'm not ready to leave yet. Still got a few more good moments here this morning, I think. And if I have the ability, and I don't know if I will because my son is still not swallowing. He's a very stubborn little man. He takes after his old man. He got through his sickness. He's been taking all 24 ounces of formula a day now. Still doesn't want to drink water on his own. Still doesn't want to eat any snacks through his mouth. Still won't even swallow. It's his psychological struggle, which got us hospitalized for about a month back in 24, which ultimately all of this led to his G-tube. But, you know, so a lot of stuff going on still. So we're hopeful he'll go to school tomorrow. But I don't know how you send him to school if he's not swallowing. So we'll have to see. We'll have to talk to the school. We're hopeful today because he grabbed some snacks. We'll see if he can get through this. But it's always the last step after a significant throwing up event for him. He always has to get through that psychological. I mean, he's doing a lot better. He's in better spirits. He's running around doing his thing and stuff like that. Okay. Crypto Cruder, great question. JM Bullion, and then I'll get to the super chat. Or Scottsdale Man. Okay. JM Bullion, if you're doing an ACH. So if you're buying it through your bank account and doing an ACH transfer, Jam Bullion. If you're doing it through crypto, stay away from Jam Bullion because I had an issue. And then when they refunded me, they waited for Bitcoin's price to go down, and I ended up losing 17% of my buy, which pissed me off. Scottsdale Mint never had that issue. So if you're using crypto, Scottsdale Mint. If you're using ACH, Jam Bullion, in my opinion. I've got so many silver bars, big silver bars, over the 100-ounce silver bars from Scottsdale Mint using crypto. Couple of them. I made multiple purchases. I even, if you want to go back into the a little bit of guidance, I can give you guidance on something I did in the past. I did the silver stacking series. There's 12 episodes when we were in the bear market of gold and silver and mining. Go back to those videos. I have a run through, a walkthrough with Scottsdale Mint so you can see. I don't remember which episode it is. Right here, silver and gold via crypto. Wow, I was slightly a chunkier fella back then, huh? You can see it in my face. Wow. And then we went through just how to do all of this. Look at the prices when I was encouraging everybody to buy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, the prices is all I'm going to say. Gold was at 1834, and it ended up coming down farther than this on the last couple of it. Look how many views I only got. 338 on this episode. I was trying to buy everybody in at the right time. We went through Scottsdale Mint. I showed you me buying it through crypto. Showed you me buying it through the exchange. I mean, look at those prices, my lord. And then when we got towards the bottom of this series, look where we ended up being at the end of this. That's a man of no muscle tone right there. Look at these prices, my lord. Oh. Gold. Where's silver 2282? That's not even the lowest. At the end of this, I believe it came down. This was the all-time it came down to after. I know there was one when we came down much farther, unless it was one of the ones earlier. $19.24 on gold there. Those were probably some of my best work I've ever done. Outside of crypto, that is. Just seeing these prices when you go back to yesteryear is awesome. And we had a plan. We had a plan. We capitalized on that plan. But yeah, there's a lot of guidance there. It's the beauty of having a series from the past people can go back and watch. I love Scottsdale Mint. I could grab one of my big silver bars from Scottsdale Mint if you want to see the quality. But they have really cool, mine are stackers. And they can stack on top of each other to save space. They're pretty cool. They have absolutely. Rick, you have 211 ounces. Excellent. I don't really want to say how much I have, but I'll put it on my hands. What is that, everybody? That's an 8? That's how many ounces of silver I have. And then gold is something like... And then platinum something like... Yeah, their lion heads are pretty cool, aren't they? It's pretty cool. It is really cool. Told you guys, I bet on myself with my own central bank. I don't need nobody else's central bank. But I also knew a level. I wasn't buying over $2,000 on gold or over $28 on silver. It just wasn't going to happen. So all of mine was pretty much purchased between 14 and 28, mostly between 14 and 22. And then for gold, it was basically anywhere between 1,500 and about 19 to 2,000, mostly 15 to 18. Platinum was around 750. Copper, I bought some at about $3 an ounce. So that's just That's something I don't count as my own wealth, though. That's getting passed on from generation to generation. Um, and silver's heavy, man. Silver's fucking heavy. But I kept taking profits from crypto at the end, and that's what helped me get exponentially out the other side. But XRP right now on the verge of losing $1.39. Oh, Palladium, unfortunately, was unattainable. I couldn't buy it. I tried to buy Palladium a lot, and it was always sold out for the levels I could buy. You would have had to buy $100,000 or more worth, which was not in my old playbook. You got a 10-ounce Scottsdale stacker as a random bar from Jambo, and that's excellent. That's a steal. Scottsdale Mint is one of the most recognizable silver makers or actual precious metal makers in bullion in the United States of America. You have a Scottsdale Mint symbol on it, it's not going to be questioned. They have their own unique graving, and it's one of the most recognizable ones when you go to a pawn shop even in the U.S. Wow, everybody left because we're talking about silver and gold. Silver and gold. Although I realize that March Madness is about to start too, so I guess we can call it a day here. It's been a great live. I've had a great live. We had a great live. So I'm going to call it a day. Make sure you like it, share it, subscribe. If you want to, join Tom's Army. I encourage you to join the classes. If you need an exchange to trade on, if you want to be a leverage trader, if you want to get outside the tier 1 exchange, just make sure, even if you're doing no KYC, do what I do and add it as income if you make money so the tax man doesn't hunt you down. There's links in my video description below or pinned comments to join the classes. There's BITUNIX on the bottom. If you want to donate and not be on YouTube, you can always do PayPal or Venmo. I can't do Cash App because they restricted my account to nothing. Yeah, they said that I was an unethical person because I would send crypto back and forth through Cash App, and eventually they said they didn't want me anymore. Yeah, I know. So yeah, I don't have an option for Cash App. But you can do it like that. I encourage you to join the classes. I really encourage you to join the classes as we're building ourselves up from the ground level. We're in phase 3. We'll be on part 5 of phase 3 on Monday. It's been so cool. And they're broken up into phases for a reason. You're going to learn more than you ever thought possible. I can guarantee that. And it's going to build you up from not just opening up the exchange and trying to trade via a chart. You're going to know so much more before you even look at a chart. So, and Michigan's on to the Sweet 16. And I have some stats for everybody if you want to talk about.
Squirrels are naughty.
Why?
Your stuff's here.
Oh, and they're trying to get my bird seed?
You already did.
Hey, the squirrels got into my bird seed, those son of a bitches. Look at this. I bought some stuff for them, squirrel food and bird seed. Look at this guy. I'm here doing my live and it got dropped off. He's eating it. He opened it. He opened it before I could even put it out there. That is so funny. Yeah, and one day we had peanut butter crackers out there and they opened it and ran away with them. That is so awesome. They were... So anyhow, if you want to know why Michigan could win the title, just like in football and 23 basketball, so basically when Michigan wins the national championship, they would finish the season 37-3. Exactly 37 years from their last national championship, they would become the 2nd-6 or 2-6 in championship game. There are 26 for football. If you had 1989 equals 27 and 2026 equals 10, 27 plus 10 equals 37. What are the odds? Adds up to 37, just as 37 years from our last national championship. 37 years since last championship, 37 win total. 1989 and 2026 equals 37. Hey, you heard it here first. And I bet before the season started, it was about $450 into it. And that would pay out over $8,000 if Michigan wins the title. Yep, you heard that here first. OnlyFans episode number 3. Squirrel goes after Tom's nuts. Yeah, you might be seeing the old ding-a-ling update. You know, if you left it out, I'm gonna have to go dump that stuff out before they eat the rest of it.
He has a pile right now that he's munching.
He's punching on the pile, everybody. Be blessed, everybody. We'll be back. We will be back. This was a great live. I love the positivity aspect.